Hello, my name is Emily Grabowski. I just completed my virtual learning project for my technology in the classroom class. It was a great experience that will definitely help me in the future. Something that my group members thought went well in my lesson was how effective my lesson was. I tried my best to speak slowly and pace myself throughout the video. Because I personally have never taught a class before, I knew that pacing would be an issue for me. I try my best not to speak too quickly to the point where others would not be able to understand me. I also try to remind the students at the beginning of the lesson about what we already learned. In a few of my other classes, we are learning about how we should just create a hook or introduction to our lesson before we jump into teaching the topic of the day. By telling the students what we already learned, I felt as if this was executed to the best of my ability. My group member thought it was a great way to introduce the lesson as well. I wanted to make sure that I included interactive portions of my lesson. I know that if I had to watch a lesson online, I would zone out and get distracted if there were no parts that I had to do myself in a notebook or a piece of paper. I added activities that had the students write down the examples and had to do themselves instead of me just teaching and giving them information. Because I included these activities, I struggled with pausing and giving the students enough time to work. I did not like the awkward silence, and I just wanted to move on. This is something that I need to work on for my future lessons. Giving students enough time to complete the activity is an important part of an interactive lesson. My group member did a great job making sure her presentation was UDL friendly. She had a dark blue background with a white font, which was more attention grabbing than a white background with black text, but still easy to read and UDL friendly. Having a simple yet interactive design for her PowerPoint is something that I wanted to make sure I have in my lessons too. Her voice was very slow and clear, which younger students need in order to learn new material. My group member included a lot of examples with visuals, which can be a key element in certain students' educations. In one of my other classes, we learned about the various types of learners, like auditory, kinesthetic, and visual. For example, she had a math problem of 2 plus 2. She added pictures of donuts so the children could easily count the number of pictures in the video. This is a very helpful tool for students to use and that are visual learners. If I end up having a classroom of younger students in the future, I would need to make sure that I remember these elements of her lesson. I learned a lot about virtual learning that I will need to bring into my future lessons as a teacher. I learned that these online lessons can take a very long time and involve a lot of planning. There are so many elements that you have to keep in mind when creating a lesson that will be taught online, like being UDL friendly, talking slow enough to be heard and understood, and captioning accurately and appropriately. I also learned that virtual learning is an important part of a child's education. If there are days that the students cannot come to class due to inclement weather days or illness, they should still be able to learn the materials that they would be learning in school. This ensures that the students do not fall behind in any of the material. Checking for understanding was something that I did not initially think was important when it comes to virtual learning. Although the students may watch the videos and do the practices within them, they may not fully understand the topic that was taught throughout the lesson. Including a Google form at the end of the video is a great way to check for understanding, which is something that I would have never thought of when creating an online lesson. My virtual learning project for my technology in the classroom class was a great experience that I will use when I become a teacher and have future lessons of my own.